This took the whole medical establishment by storm. And to be frank, I fully expect this page to be taken down at any moment. That's how controversial the information I'm about to reveal is, and you'll understand why in just a moment. So, please, close the door, remove any distractions, and pay close attention to what comes next, because this might be the only time you hear this valuable private information. And trust me, this is vitally important if you're a diabetic or pre-diabetic. You see, a team of researchers from a renowned university in Sweden made a groundbreaking discovery about diabetes using hormonal modeling studies of 340 people with diabetes. And in spite of Big Pharma's constant threats and pushbacks, because they want this information buried from millions of desperate people, this team of brave scientists decided to go ahead and release this vital information to the public. In fact, you can say that today they are Big Pharma's most hated enemies. Because believe me, what they discovered will turn your world upside down. It will shock everything you thought was true about diabetes and its deadly complications to the core. And will put the true key to fixing this debilitating condition right in the palm of your hand. So please, pay attention. These hormonal models the Swedish team was studying captured a bizarre type of electrical activity in the subjects, activity associated with insulin production from pancreatic beta cells that doctors had considered dead. What does this mean, you might wonder? Well, this means that the dead beta cells were still producing insulin. However, because no insulin was released in their bloodstream, these patients needed to take external shots of this hormone to keep their blood sugars in check. The study gathered incredible data demonstrating that diabetes was not their fault, and it's definitely not your fault either. Instead, it has everything to do with a dormant part of your beta cells that fails to capture the change in your blood sugars. And unless you manage to fully revive the beta cells responsible for flagging the rises and falls of your glycemic levels, your body's natural insulin will never reach the bloodstream, even if the cells still produce it. No matter if you start a new exercise routine, or if you drastically change your diet, or even if you stuff yourself with endless medication. You only treat the symptoms, not the root cause of this debilitating condition. But now that we know what's actually happening, and more important, why this is happening, we can finally start fixing it. And what I will show you in the following minutes will shatter everything you thought you knew about this life-threatening condition. I'm talking about what could be the biggest medical breakthrough from the past decade. In fact, from the past century. You'll finally discover the real reason why you're suffering now. And trust me, it's not something your doctor will ever tell you. I'll also teach you how, regardless of your age or family history, you can eliminate the root cause of your diabetes and awaken an essential yet inert part of your endocrine system, reversing diabetes in just a few days. Without having to take dangerous drugs or constantly watch what you eat and drink, this is the only tested method that allows you to eliminate diabetes for good. And it's a life-changing solution that has passed multiple trials before reaching you today in its final form, with an efficiency rate of 100% for each and every one of the test subjects. Well, let me tell you, this is something else. Your pancreas will revitalize itself. Your immune system will be restored to its maximum power, allowing it to flush away the toxins accumulated in your body and eliminate any risk of blindness, kidney failure, heart attack, or even Alzheimer's or dementia. And what's amazing about this method is that it's 100% natural, easy to use even for those with busy schedules, and frankly cheaper than what you would spend on a bottle of water per day. Besides, you won't have to worry about any medical visits, nor will you have to wait months to see results. You can use this powerful method at your own pace from home and see how your uncontrolled blood sugars will almost immediately start to settle, revitalizing your tired body with a current of strength and well-being. This video is the only testament of the tens of thousands of men and women worldwide who are using the same method to reverse their diabetes and reclaim control over their lives. People like Matthew Brown, who managed to say goodbye to his erratic blood sugar levels and regain full control over his life, allowing him to enjoy his favorite foods again and live free from the deadly complications of diabetes, boosting his overall health and well-being. His friends and colleagues are in awe of his transformation, all begging to know his secret. And again, this method you're about to learn has nothing to do with strict diets. It's not about some complex exercise regimen that never lasts, and it's definitely not about enduring painful injections or endless medication. Instead, it's all about an easy bedtime ritual backed by profound scientific research. How do I know this? Because I'm Matthew Brown, the guy who stumbled upon this simple bedtime ritual, which I'm going to share with you today right here. I thank God every day for giving me a second chance at life, because this easy but shockingly powerful bedtime ritual has the key to reversing my high blood sugar and sending my diabetes into remission. And now I'm feeling like I'm in my early 30s again. That's why I want to help as many sufferers as possible break free from the chains of this debilitating condition. So please pay attention to what comes next and spread the word so people can escape the diabetes nightmare. As I said, I'm Matthew Brown, a physical education teacher for high school students, and in the next few minutes I'll show you how my erratic blood sugar almost destroyed my marriage, my relationship with my children, and was this close to putting me into an early grave. But it also offered me the chance to discover the root cause of this life-threatening condition and how to get into the best shape of my life. To my doctor's amazement, I managed to reverse what was believed to be an irreversible condition and turn it into a vibrant, happy life with my loved ones. Not only that, but I also managed to help thousands of other honest folks escape their diabetes nightmares and reach their best shapes, filling them with vitality and strength. And today, I'll do it for you too. Just imagine having complete control over your health and enjoying a relaxed lifestyle where you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, free from the constant worry of managing insane blood sugar levels. Imagine finally being able to move around freely without aches and pains or constantly feeling tired and out of breath. And finally, imagine never having to ask yourself, what if my kidneys fail? What if my heart stops? What if I will no longer be able to see or walk anymore? Because while all of these are actual risks for people with diabetes, that doesn't have to be your story, especially now when we know 100% that this incredible discovery really works, even in the most severe cases of diabetes. But first, let me tell you why the news about this revelatory research that could change the lives of millions hasn't reached you yet. Because you deserve to know the truth. You see, this leaked information is not easy to swallow for the pharmaceutical giants out there. They want to keep you powerless so that they stuff their pockets at the expense of your suffering. But the cat's out of the bag, and there's something you absolutely need to know. Diabetes is not your fault. In fact, this debilitating condition is the result of a silent process happening inside your body as we speak, a process that's blocking the release of insulin in your bloodstream. Here's how it works. A small sequence of your pancreatic beta cells' membranes works like a glucose sensor. This is essential for managing your body's insulin production, which helps control blood sugar levels. However, over time, the toxins in your body clog inside this membrane and block its sensitivity to glucose fluctuations. That's why your insulin is not released into your bloodstream, because there is no signal to flag the beta cells. Now, it's like trying to fit a key into a lock that's jammed with debris. The glucose is there, but the beta cells can't unlock the signal to release insulin. This broken communication disrupts your body's natural balance, leaving sugar to roam freely in your bloodstream, causing critical damage. The role of bringing this tiny yet crucial part of your pancreatic membrane cell back to life was acknowledged not only by the brilliant Swedish team, but also by scientists at renowned universities such as Oxford and Yale. Moreover, several reports released by the American Diabetes Association confirm that the lost capacity of the pancreatic cells to perceive the rises and falls in your glucose levels is the primary reason why you are still struggling with diabetes. However, they also highlight how they are not permanently damaged, unlike everything you've been told so far. And here's the deal. Instead of having this information out there so that honest folks like you can free themselves from diabetes and live a life full of energy and vitality, this insane misinformation campaign still persists. And the truth is, the effects are devastating. devastating. Between 2000 and 2019, diabetes mortality rates increased by 3%, and in 2019 alone, diabetes caused an estimated 2 million deaths, according to what recent data shows. Scary, isn't it? You would think that with all this data in their hands, the major health organizations would be able to offer you some real solutions by now. Instead, the struggling people are still struggling and the rich are only getting richer. It's no wonder our president wanted to withdraw from the World Health Organization. So you can understand why I couldn't stay silent, and definitely not now, when we have this 100% effective solution at hand, this life-changing protocol that has passed multiple trials before reaching you in its perfected form today. And as incredible as this may sound, from now on, having to deal with diabetes is completely optional. But I don't want you to simply take my word for it. The over 118,000 people who have tried it confirm its 100% efficacy, and the results are simply astonishing. Among them, Elizabeth Davis, a 42-year-old mother from Memphis, Tennessee, who had experienced severe episodes of kidney failure after months of uncontrolled hyperglycemia.
After 3 years of battling diabetes, I finally regained control over my health. This information relieved me from sadness and sickness, restored my confidence, and even helped me find love. Now, with my husband, we live a vibrant, active life and feel happy again. I'm no longer a diabetic, and I can only thank you for that.
Joshua Moore from Baltimore, Maryland, was told that a lie of chronic sickness was waiting for him. The increased risk of heart attack and blindness kept him stuck in a vicious cycle of fear and lack of confidence.
It was vital for me to know this about my diabetes. I realized it's not about being a sick person. It's about the unseen things that are happening inside our bodies. I gotta tell you, this research went directly to the root cause of my suffering, and it completely changed my life. After years of being in darkness, I'm now finally diabetes free. It's the only thing that worked for me, and I can't thank you enough. God bless.
My mail gets filled with hundreds of such messages on a daily basis from honest folks whose lives have been shifted in mere weeks. And frankly, all these amazing stories prove one thing: the fact that this method works without any doubt for any man or woman out there. So please, stay with me to the very end and learn how to regain control over your diabetes. No matter if you're a man or a woman, if you're 30 or 90 years old, and no matter if you've been suffering from diabetes for a week or for your whole life. Yes, I know how crazy all this sounds right now. After all, you've tried everything under the sun just to see that nothing works, right? And no one can blame you for that. In fact, I had my fair share of doubts that this method would work too. But when I saw the effects on my body, effects that even doctors had to admit were genuine and miraculously positive, I understood that this was different from anything that I had ever seen. Because this is the difference between this method and every other so-called solution out there. This one actually works. No matter if your blood sugar is 150, 180, 250, or even higher. And here's the other thing. This is not just another quick fix diet or expensive treatment plan that promises mountains, yet leaves you with nothing but molehills. How do I know it? Well, because scientists are now finally admitting that the astonishing results of this method are possible because it works on all three levels necessary to treat the root of the condition. First, it restores the capacity of pancreatic cell membranes to receive glycemic signals. Second, it distributes insulin into the bloodstream. And third, it stabilizes your glucose at optimal levels. You now have the chance to be free again, to eat anything you want, anytime you want, while your body naturally keeps your sugar under control. Your energy levels will skyrocket, filling you with confidence, stamina, and mobility. All the while, your blood sugar will decrease day by day. Your mood will improve, while your focus and mind clarity will skyrocket. Your stubborn pounds will start dropping right in front of your eyes as your nights fill with calm, restful sleep. And you can definitely forget everything about the horrific diabetes complications like osteoporosis, kidney failure, stroke, blindness, or having one of your limbs amputated. All these will seem so distant that the new you won't even remember where it all started in the first place. So let's not waste more precious time. It's time you free yourself from the diabetes nightmare. As I said, I'm Matthew Brown. I teach physical education at a high school in Portland, Oregon. And I'm not coming in front of you today as a know-it-all doctor or some fancy wellness guru. I'm just an average Joe who just happened to stumble upon a life-changing discovery. I'm a science and sports lover, and I love spending time with my lovely spouse Emily and our 2 children, Martin and Tiffany. Ever since I met Emily in high school, I've loved everything about her. Before having kids, we went on exciting trips together, ate healthy, and did all kinds of physical activities, hiking, swimming, rock climbing, you name it. We were that annoying couple that was always up to something. But one summer day, things took a dark turn, and my diabetes nightmare started. It began slowly with waves of intense thirst. Soon after, I felt as though I was living on a desert island, waking up frequently in the middle of the night to drink water and urinate. Just imagine how disturbed and embarrassed I felt. Getting up countless times every night, leaving Emily in bed, and hitting the bathroom like an old man who couldn't control himself anymore. We thought that it was because of dehydration, so I began drinking more water. However, as I was drinking more, I needed to pee more. It was a Thanksgiving several weeks later when I got more relaxed around the fantastic food and drinks that we had on the table, and I chewed more than I could handle. The next thing I remember is lying on a hospital bed trying to make sense of doctors' voices surrounding me, throwing around words like diabetes, coma, high blood sugar, and chronic. It took me ages to understand what was happening. However, when I got stabilized, the doctors explained it to me. Mr. Brown, when you arrived, you were in severe hyperglycemia. Your sugar levels were over 460, and you were close to entering a diabetic coma. Your levels are now more stable, but if you want to prevent this from happening again and live a normal life, you must make big changes starting today. My life did a full 180 in the blink of an eye. When I was finally released from the hospital, I was given an extensive plan, a diet change, an exercise routine, and 4 types of medication to keep my blood sugar in check. Not only that, but I needed to pinch the tips of my fingers at least 3 times per day before every meal to get my glucose checked. I had to write every number down and send it to the doctors to adjust the medication. The worst part? I had to go through this hellish routine for the rest of my life. And if I were to stuff myself with so many artificially made drugs, why did they predict the disease would only get worse with time and not better? I was boiling with anger and confusion. For the first time, I felt as though things were getting so out of control that I needed another opinion. After visiting the second and even third endocrinologist, I had to swallow the bitter pill. I had type 2 diabetes, and I needed to do something to stop my life from going down the drain. I started taking the medication as advised, went on an even healthier diet, threw away every carb in the house, and woke up at 6 a.m. to run for half an hour before starting work. It was a tough challenge at first, but I saw some results after a while. That made me confident enough to take Emily on a new adventure for our 10th anniversary. It was something that I didn't want to miss just because of this gray cloud that darkened the family sky. So I booked a summer house on our favorite wild beach where we could relax and forget about everything else. I had a special dinner prepared that Saturday, and I wanted to go pick Emily's favorite flowers on the rocky side of the beach. But on the way back, I stepped into this random piece of glass hidden in the sand and cut the sole of my right foot. I set the flowers on the side and went to wash my wound in the ocean. The salty water calmed down the scar and the itchiness so I could walk back. I didn't tell Emily anything about it because it seemed like everything had passed. I was just waiting for the wound to heal. However, when I woke up Sunday morning, needles of pain were flooding up my leg, taking my breath away. I could barely move. When I looked, the wound was so swollen and infected that I couldn't recognize my own foot. It turned out that overnight, the infected area had spread over a large part of my foot. I couldn't bear that pain anymore. I had to wake Emily up and tell her. When she saw it, her face froze with shock. She picked up the phone to call for help, but we realized that the closest medical facility was miles away. Our only option was to drive back. After what felt like a year-long drive, we finally arrived at the hospital, and the medic in charge started the disinfection immediately. After the procedure, he explained, "Mr. Brown, the wound was in a high state of infection. We've cleaned everything out to the best of our abilities. We can only hope your immune system starts reacting and picks it up from here. If the inflammation doesn't tone down, we must put you in surgery. I thought I had heard all of the words doctors use to scare you, but this one didn't make sense. Surgery from that small of a cut on the sole of my foot? I asked. The doctor filled me in. Mr. Brown, I understand your surprise, but you see, diabetes inhibits the immune system's response to infections. Before, any wound would heal in a few hours or days, but now the sugar in your bloodstream blocks and delays the recovery for weeks or even months. And this is the best case scenario. If your blood sugar levels stay high, the infection will spread, eating away at your flesh and rotting your blood. We'll need to add a new medication for the infection to your treatment, but keep going with the ones you've gotten so far and brace yourself. For the next 2 weeks, you'll need to keep your wound under close observation. If the inflammation keeps growing, call me and we'll immediately put you in surgery. If things don't get better, you're at risk of amputation. Infection? Rotting blood? Amputation? Every word the doctor was adding to this insane monologue was making my stomach turn. During the following few days, I felt like I was in a bottomless pit. Depression got its hands on me, taking over my life little by little. I could barely get myself out of bed to get some food, have my insulin shot, and the prescribed meds. From there on, even though I barely had an appetite, I gained an alarming amount of weight. I felt slow, sluggish, and moody, and I didn't have any motivation to shave or dress up. I'd stopped being intimate with Emily and was not feeling like myself. She was still the same beautiful woman who I married, but I looked just like a caveman who had lost his desire, and really getting aroused was not even on the table. I kept asking myself over and over again, how did I get here? Me, the action man, dynamic husband, and fit guy. Me, the physical education teacher. When I looked in the mirror, I couldn't recognize the man I was seeing. My confidence was shattering like broken glass. The nights were the most difficult. I was waking up in sweats from the heavy nightmares of walking around on a beach without legs. During the days, I was surrounded by brain fog, and I could barely answer simple questions. I was literally sedated with 4 of the strongest diabetic drugs on the planet, and not a single one worked. From those murky days, I only remember a moment when I felt my gaze rest on Emily's hair as she was drinking her cup of tea in the kitchen, and I had this sudden realization. As miserable as I felt, I was still with this gorgeous, caring woman who was trying to do her best to support the whole family. Do I want to be an extra burden? Do I want to drain all of her energy? No, both her and the kids deserve better, and I should do it for them if I can't do it for me. Basically, I only saw 2 options. I could spend the rest of my life sticking to a strict medication plan, praying that my condition won't get any worse, or I could take the matter into my own hands, find out exactly why this is happening to me, and get my old life back. My gut was telling me that option number 1 would only lead to more pain and suffering. And in reality, I only had one real choice. So I picked myself up and searched for information everywhere I could. I combed through thousands of research papers and studies about endocrinology, the function of insulin, and beta cells. It was mind-boggling to find out how widespread this disease actually is. According to the International Diabetes Federation, this condition affects 387 people worldwide, and the number is predicted to increase to 592 million by 2035. What's even more disturbing is that besides the pressure it adds on the patient, diabetes feeds up the entire pharmaceutical system, which incentivizes doctors to prescribe more meds at a higher price. According to a recent study, many countries spend as much as 10% of their entire healthcare budget on treating diabetes and its complications. In 2022 alone, the United States spent $412.9 billion on trying to combat diabetes. And still, they can't help us at all. Or maybe they just don't want to, right? I tried every solution that I could find in my readings. Alcohol and junk food, I threw them away. We resumed cooking and no longer spent nights at restaurants. Diets good for diabetes? I tried them all. Mediterranean, low carb, DASH, paleo, vegetarian, you name it. Exercise? Sure, I started waking up even earlier and spent even more time running. I even consulted an osteopath and a nutritionist, and I ingested countless bottles of vitamins. At that moment, nobody could tell me that I hadn't tried every known anti-diabetes method. And even though there were some minor improvements, the changes were so small that I still had to be tied down to the meds bag and insulin. So I started researching how other people dealt with it. I subscribed to different medical websites and forums, reading other people's stories about this condition. Besides some too good to be true stories of men and women who successfully reversed diabetes, I didn't find much. I was really about to give up, but as you know, life works in mysterious ways. Because a few days later, a colleague told me that our high school was renting their conference room over the weekend for the annual conference of the Diabetes Association and asked if I wanted to take the opportunity to hear the news. By then, I was already familiar with the medical language, so even though I was not a doctor myself, I decided to assist. And to be honest, I was nothing short of disappointed. However, during a coffee break, something strange happened. A woman with a tag named Louise approached me and asked what I thought about the program. It's interesting, I guess, I mumbled. But then she broke the ice and said, "Really? I find it so disappointing. Every year, the same." Encouraged by her initiative and intrigued by her answer, I started sharing my own story. That I'd had enough of the pain, frustration, and humiliation of not being able to live my life like a normal human being. After I finished talking, Louise leaned back, letting the weight of my words settle for a moment. Then she told me about how she made a groundbreaking discovery as an endocrinology researcher. Her work, in every sense of the word, was considered to be impeccable. She was a published author and was frequently interviewed on nationwide television programs, so we kept talking, and at some point, she said something that gave me hope. Hope that I can finally be able to reverse my diabetes and live a normal life again. You see, during one of her studies, she investigated 340 patients, both men and women ranging from 20 to 80 years old, all of them with one thing in common. Every single one was a diabetes sufferer. They were at various stages of diabetes, so they offered her a wide range of opportunities to gather significant data. We discovered something crucial about reviving pancreatic cells that produce insulin. But by the time I wanted to present my results, the dean of the university asked me to come into his office and told me I should keep what I found out for myself. Otherwise, they would cut the research program's funding. It seems that our discovery reached some big pharma moguls' ears, and they did what they do best. They silenced us in the most shameless way, and they thought that was it. But I did what I had to do. After all, when you discover something that can help millions of people with diabetes regain their freedom, you shouldn't keep your mouth shut. I had to leave. I gave up an entire research career and left the country. I moved here to the States, and every year I attend this conference hoping that this will be the year when they finally spill the beans and release the truth to the public. But it's no wonder it hasn't happened yet, and it probably never will. You know why? Because they want to trap thousands of new desperate customers every year. That's how they call you and all the sufferers out there desperate customers. Apparently, their profits outbalance the suffering of millions of honest Americans out there. For the greedy, corrupt pharmaceutical giants, you are nothing more than a pocket they can suck cash from. Hearing her speak, everything suddenly clicked. She was the Louise I had heard so much about on the forums. Hundreds of people mentioned how a foreign woman helped them find relief from their dreadful diabetes with a groundbreaking solution. So I did the sensible thing and asked her if she could tell me about her discovery. Think of your body as a factory. Your pancreas is the part of the factory that produces insulin, which helps control sugar levels. And how does your pancreas do that? Well, a small part of your pancreatic beta cell's membrane is essential in regulating insulin secretion, and its primary role is to sense every glucose change in your blood. To put it simply, it's like a sensor embedded in the cell. The sensor is connected to some special doors called KATP channels. When blood sugar levels are high, the sensor picks up the signal and alerts the beta cells to do their job to metabolize the excess glucose in the bloodstream. Because they've been flagged, the KATP channels close and allow some other doors called calcium channels to open. This is how cells know when to release insulin. The magic is that the insulin is released in the exact quantity your body needs, and it works the other way around too. When the sensor perceives a drop in blood sugars, such as during exercise, the cells open the KATP channels and close the calcium channels, and bam, no more insulin is released. In other words, without this guardian to notice every change, the whole factory is doomed because there's no one to operate the doors. It has one role: to open and close the KATP channels based on very strict signals. Close them too soon and your body is flooded with insulin. You're then at high risk of hypoglycemia, fainting, or even entering coma. Close them too late and your hyperglycemia affects your optic nerves, kidneys, heart, joints, and feet, to name a few. But that's not even the most interesting part. One day, using the most advanced technology in genetic studies, the bio-inspired models for designing hormonal maps, I noticed something odd on the maps of our 340 patients. Their beta cells, marked as non-functional, displayed electric activity associated with insulin production. What was even more bizarre was that none of these cells were actually releasing insulin into the patient's bloodstream. Intrigued by what this could mean, I took the maps of the hormonal dynamics of all 340 people and kept them under observation for 90 days. After 90 days, I could draw some data based on conclusions and share them with my colleagues, secretly hoping this could be the lead we've been looking for all these years. And after 3 months, guess what? The maps revealed the same thing. The beta cells considered dead still showed signals of electrical activity, even if there was no insulin release whatsoever. The horrific thing about the absence of insulin was that most of my patients were at risk of developing kidney affections, and many of them reported that they lost all feeling in their feet and skin, meaning that they were injuring themselves and didn't even know it. But I knew those weren't even the biggest risks. For example, the mortality rates after acute heart attacks are twice as high for patients with diabetes compared to patients without diabetes. And high levels of blood sugar cause a severe deterioration of vision, mainly due to the damage to the vessels of the eye, making diabetes the most common cause of blindness in the world. Then she began to highlight her discoveries. Over time, because of a sedentary lifestyle and toxins accumulating in the body, the sensor I was telling you about loses its functions. You see, the toxins that enter your body travel through your bloodstream until they reach your pancreas, where they start clogging the cell's membrane, and that's where all the problems start. The more of these toxins that reach your pancreas, the more the cell's membrane clogs and they simply block the sensor. By doing that, the essential calcium signals don't arrive at the beta cells anymore. It's like they killed the messenger. In the absence of this crucial information, the cells stop releasing insulin into the bloodstream, not because they can't do it, but because they are unaware of where it's actually needed. One after another, the cells eventually give up their function and enter a forgetting phase, allowing the sugar to pile up over time in the bloodstream until diabetes sets in. Basically, with nobody telling them to do their job, the beta cells stop doing their job even if they are fully active. You might ask yourself, why isn't the immune system doing its job and eliminating these toxins, right? Well, it's not that easy. Since they are clogging in the cell's membrane, your immune system cannot eliminate them, not without risking the destruction of the sensors themselves. The only way to fix all this is to specifically target these toxins and eliminate them from your body. But can't other cells pick up this role and send the message anyway? I asked. Unfortunately, no. The role of insulin in glucose homeostasis is unique. If the beta cells don't do that anymore, no other cell is designed to take over this function. My shoulders fell forward with disappointment. Oh, is there anything to be done? I said. Well, luckily, that's exactly what we've discovered. Unlike what they try to make us believe, it is essential not to stress the beta cells to produce more insulin while the sensorial part is clogged, because that will only overwhelm and eventually kill the cells. Instead, we need to find a way to repair the door operator. The eureka moment came after stumbling on a paper of Rosalind Yalow, Ph.D., who would receive the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1977 for discovering a technique that would advance diabetes research. Once we figured that out, the next step was more straightforward. Together with my colleagues, we created a protocol that would restore the sensor's function so that the signals arrive immediately and the cells continue their normal insulin release. Because you see, the reason why normal diabetes medications don't work is because they don't address the root cause of the problem. They just try to mask the symptoms. It's like trying to mop up water from a leaking pipe without fixing the pipe itself. These medications push your beta cells to release more and more insulin, even when the sensor in their membrane is blocked by toxins. Because of the synthetic chemicals in these drugs, the cells detect the meds as harmful substances, and that's why they show no response. Not only are these meds ineffective, but over time, the stress from beta cells trying to resist the meds only damages the cells further, eventually killing them off. That's how we knew our solution had to include only natural components so that the beta cells don't flag them as being toxic and will allow the solution to work 100%. So we analyzed all possible combinations of herbs, plants, and natural oils to find the perfect formulation of powerful, natural, pure ingredients that could eliminate the toxins clogging the sensors and restore healthy blood sugar levels. What we wanted to achieve was a 100% effective, non-invasive, and safe formula that puts diabetes into remission and creates an impenetrable bulwark against any toxin that may damage the pancreas and affect its ability to regulate insulin production. Once we found the perfect ingredients, we mixed them in specific quantities to boost each other's power after indigestion. Because you see, if there's even a slight variation from the perfect ingredient balance, the detoxification process won't trigger at all. It was then time for the testing process. So the 340 people added the mixture into their diets, and the results were nothing short of astonishing. Their high blood sugar dropped to normal, healthy levels in just a couple of days. It felt like we had discovered the hidden key, granting us the power to eliminate diabetes, and we could use it whenever needed. Can you understand how big this is? Imagine the benefits for all sufferers out there. But still, the rest of the story. They didn't allow me to talk about it, so here we are. I'm trying to help whoever I can by myself. By the end of all of this, I was overwhelmed with so many feelings. First, of admiration for this warrior woman who had endured so much just to help people like you and me. Second, anger towards a manipulative system that denies access to real effective treatments for those in need. And third, of hope for myself that I might have stumbled upon exactly what I was looking for, a way to permanently free myself from the shackles of this debilitating condition. Without holding anything back, I asked Louise if I could try her formula too. She must have noticed the determination in my voice because she took a bottle from inside her handbag and said, "Here, mix one bolus in your evening drink, make it your bedtime ritual. There's enough formula there to last you a month, so after you finish it, give me a call." Her phone number was on the back of the bottle. At first, I didn't want to tell anyone else besides Emily. I wanted to give the solution time to take its effects and prove my doubts wrong. Within the first few days, I felt my body becoming lighter and my mind clearer. My glucose measuring strips showed incredibly stable results for days in a row. Then I noticed how my insomnia and tiredness vanished. I was sleeping like a baby and waking up with astonishing energy levels. For the first time in what seemed like ages, I literally jumped out of bed. Even my dear Emily couldn't believe my transformation. But the amazing improvements didn't stop there. I started losing pounds of belly fat and my muscles began to show again. I couldn't even fit into my favorite hiking suit for the first time in years. I felt as if I found a time machine that took me back to the way I was before diabetes took over my life. During the third week, my aches and pains completely vanished, including the pain I had been feeling for months around my kidneys. However, it was only at the beginning of the fourth week that I was left truly speechless. The infected inflammation on the sole of my foot was reduced to the size of a slight scratch. It looked like it had never been there. The risk of amputation was eliminated. Not only that, but my blood sugar was down to 110 no matter what I ate, even when I was indulging in my favorite favorite desserts. It was the most incredible feeling ever. And to be honest, it seemed too good to be true. Even after seeing all these amazing things happen to me, I was still skeptical of how this one solution could do what all 5 drugs I had been taking couldn't. So I started to research everything for confirmation again, and as it turned out, Louise was right. A wide range of scientists at Oxford and other major universities proved her discovery afterward. Cambridge researchers proved how insulin resistance is the leading cause of your diabetes and how restoring the beta cell's functionality is vital for recovery. And the American Diabetes Association alerts on the risks of leaving diabetes uncontrolled, osteoporosis, stroke, or limb loss. Now, really, wouldn't you rather enjoy a Sunday walk with your loved ones instead of becoming a one-legged diabetic stuck in a wheelchair? You should have seen the amazement on my doctor's face during my next checkup. He was surprised that he had not received my phone call during the weeks after the wound cleaning treatment, but he didn't expect this at all. He even checked my results twice, just to make sure he was reading them correctly. He said that I must have pressed a magic button. Otherwise, he couldn't explain what happened. This made me realize that it was the right moment to call Louise and tell her that her formula was a complete success. She didn't seem surprised, but she told me that we should meet in person. We met at a coffee place, and she started explaining to me the whole process behind the formula. To put it simply, the sensors of your pancreatic cells regain their function after the natural ingredients from the mixture got into your bloodstream. Over the 4 weeks, the nutrients unclog the cell's membranes by completely eliminating all the toxins and restore the sensor's accuracy in flagging insulin release based on the fluctuations of blood sugar levels. Well, I was dazzled. Everything made sense now. And as grateful as I was towards Louise, I couldn't let this incredible discovery stay hidden while the big pharma moguls continued to make billions by keeping people tied to their addictive, useless drugs. This can't stay a secret anymore. I want to help get the word out there, I said, pushing towards her a thick file. To convince her that her work was not only incredibly valuable but also desperately needed, I collected stories of people who she had helped from the diabetes forums and placed them in that file. Matthew, no. I know how this goes. They will come after us and shut down everything before we even start. But I still pushed the file towards her and asked her to read what those people had to say about her and her discovery. I could see her eyes sweeping through stories like Michael's, 45, from Minnesota. It was too early to be trapped by a diabetes diagnosis. I couldn't understand why, at only 40, I had to deal with this. It threw me into years of confusion and chaos. It felt like my life was just about managing symptoms. Your formula showed me a new way to live. 3 months in, and not only are my blood sugar levels the best they've been in years, but I also have more energy to play with my kids and be with my lovely wife. I'm no longer on the sidelines. I live at the center of my life. Or Emma's, 37, from Missouri. Managing my diabetes used to consume all my energy for more than 10 years. This method taught me how to harness that energy instead and increase my insulin sensitivity. Now I feel free to savor every meal, look forward to my workouts, and celebrate each triumph at my checkups. Doctors are stumbled. I am impressed because I've not only improved my health, but I've improved my entire life thanks to this formula. Her eyes were in tears. She was well aware that she had only 2 choices. She could do nothing and let Big Pharma continue playing this dirty game that keeps millions of honest folks bankrupt and dependent on countless drugs, basically sticking to the status quo. Or she could do the right thing and make this amazing discovery available as soon as possible to the millions of men and women out there who desperately need it. I knew I made my choice. Now Louise had to make hers. When she reached the middle of the file, she suddenly closed the covers, looked sharply into my eyes, and said, "Okay, let's do it." Next, we decided to increase our strength and teamed up with researchers from a renowned university who had also been silenced over the years by the same forces that tried to shut Louise down. Their reports simply confirmed what Louise discovered from the very beginning, the real root cause of diabetes, and that restoring the sensors for the K-ATP channels of our beta cells is the essential step in enabling the insulin to move freely into your body when needed. That very night, we went online and posted an ad. What we wanted to do was to launch an awareness campaign so sufferers could learn about this one-of-a-kind solution and liberate themselves from the shackles of diabetes. In just a week, 148 honest folks from 20 to 85 years old sent us messages saying that they were willing to test it. And all these folks had one thing in common: diabetes was ruining every aspect of their lives. The next step was to send every participant a bottle of Louise's formula. Now, we expected the formula to work. I was the living proof after all. But we surely didn't expect it to work that well. Within a few weeks, every single participant who had tried this amazing formula was no longer a pre-diabetic or a diabetic. We quickly proved to even the most skeptical diabetics who tried it that this formula really works, as they all witnessed their lifelong dreams come true. A life without diabetes. All their suffering ended in the blink of an eye. Now we had the recipe, the undeniable proof, and the medical knowledge. But the next challenge was to get our hands on large batches of 100% natural and top-quality ingredients to make the formula available for more suffering folks like you. You wouldn't believe how many people only want to make a quick buck off someone's hard work, selling them low-quality ingredients at tremendous prices. So we asked for the help of Louise's scientific connections and contacted only certified producers and verified suppliers, making sure that our formula uses only 100% natural, non-GMO, top-quality ingredients with absolutely zero side effects. We searched on 5 different continents, and it took us months before we found reliable suppliers who could provide us with the highest quality, purest ingredients. And let me tell you, it was not a walk in the park. But because we were committed to sourcing only the purest ingredients grown in the most organic biological conditions, we had to make sure that we were satisfied with our choices. After all, the health of millions of people relied on that. After we found all the suppliers, we had to find a state-of-the-art, independent, and under-the-radar facility where we could receive and process all the ingredients. It took us another several months to contact every independent lab here in the U.S. and find out if they could help us with sourcing the ingredients and mixing them together at reasonable costs. But hearing about our incredible efforts, everyone replied promptly, and we were able to make an arrangement with an FDA-approved lab. They agreed to help us sourcing only the top-quality ingredients from certified and FDA-approved vendors and create the formula while keeping the prices at the lowest possible. And after another month of hard work and sleepless nights, we finally did it. I literally jumped out of joy as I held onto my hands the first batch of what we now call Insufend, the only natural blend that goes directly to the root cause of your diabetes and fixes your beta cell's ability to release insulin into your bloodstream whenever it's needed. This formula is so powerful that not only repairs and revitalizes the deficient beta cells, making them healthier and more efficient than ever, but it also stimulates the growth of a new set of more efficient beta cells ready to release the much-needed insulin almost immediately. And here's the thing, the formula is very easy to use and is also diabetic friendly. It does not require any restrictive diets or starving yourself. In fact, you can eat all your favorite foods and still put diabetes into remission, while also rejuvenating your heart, improving your vision, boosting your memory and focus, and so much more. And because I believe that you deserve to know everything about this amazing formula, let me tell you about the science behind its ingredients. The moment you take your first capsule of Insufend, the powerful nutrient absorption process begins. We've crafted this breakthrough formula with 15 scientifically backed ingredients, carefully sourced from 5 continents. And each nutrient plays a crucial role in achieving 2 key outcomes. First, they work synergistically to restore your pancreas's natural ability to regulate blood sugar levels. Second, they kickstart the process of freeing your body from diabetes within weeks. And because these ingredients are 100% natural and selected for their purity and potency, your body absorbs them rapidly, triggering the blood sugar stabilizing process almost instantly. Once your body absorbs these extraordinary nutrients, the healing process starts at the cellular level. Your pancreas, the critical organ for blood sugar regulation, must undergo a detox and repair process before it can resume the release of insulin efficiently. This is why we included the following star ingredients in the formula. First, we added green tea leaf extract. Besides being one of the most powerful detoxifiers for the pancreas, green tea blocks cellular glucose uptake by inhibiting and activating the KATP channels for insulin release. This fights obesity and the deterioration of blood vessels over time. Several other studies, including one published by the National Institute of Health, confirm the important role of green tea in eliminating the toxins that are clogging your beta cells' membranes, creating a perfect environment for the release of insulin into the bloodstream. Then we added theobromine with its incredible anti-diabetes properties. Extracted from the purest cocoa beans, the natural compound's main goal is to reduce inflammation in the pancreas while also enhancing blood flow and promoting healthy glucose metabolism. These two powerful ingredients protect you from many complications like blindness or nerve degeneration diseases that can lead to the loss of mobility, independence, or memory. They also shield you against Alzheimer's and dementia. This way you can greet every morning knowing that diabetes won't stop you from having an amazing day with your loved ones again. Next, as your beta cells heal, the pancreas's ability to regulate insulin improves, setting the stage for long-term glucose control. At this stage, your body starts experiencing incredible changes. Your need for pills and injections will be a thing of the past, and your body will be free from the shackles of diabetes. The carefully selected nutrients stabilize blood sugar levels, eliminate cravings, and restore balance to your metabolic system. Here's how we achieve this. Sucra prebiotic fiber. This unique fiber nourishes your gut microbiome, which plays an essential role in stabilizing blood sugar levels. By supporting gut health, Sucra helps the pancreas reset naturally, helping it function at 100% of its power. Cinnamon bark. Widely recognized for its blood sugar level lowering effects, cinnamon enhances your body's insulin sensitivity. According to several studies, it reduces fasting blood sugar and promotes healthy pancreatic function, all while helping your body break down sugars more efficiently. Not only that, but a recent study from the National Library of Medicine shows that cinnamon bark boosts overall well-being with its flavor while improving glucose, total cholesterol, and triglycerides levels, the three essential health indicators. Next, we have eleuthero root, the secret ingredient that makes your insulin work smarter and more effectively. It boosts insulin distribution in the body, making your cells more sensitive to its effects. Besides this, it has anti-inflammatory and protective effects on your heart, eliminating the risk of circulatory and cardiac problems. Theocrine follows next. It improves cognitive performance, heart rate, and blood pressure while stabilizing your glucose levels. All these powerful ingredients work in complete synergy to bring your blood sugar levels back to normal while also helping you feel energized and revitalizing your entire body. Now, our goal isn't just to free you from diabetes, it's to ensure you stay protected for the rest of your life. To achieve this, Insufend contains an extra unique blend of vitamins and nutrients that provide ongoing support for your pancreas, digestive system, and immune system. Vitamin D3 supports beta cell function in the pancreas and boosts your immune system to prevent further complications. Studies at the Michigan State University College of Human Medicine have shown that supplementing your vitamin D significantly reduces your glycated hemoglobin, HbA1c. Another 13 studies show that vitamin D aids in the metabolism of calcium and phosphorus and intestinal calcium absorption, ensuring bone mineralization and sturdiness. This will give your body better stability and will reduce the risk of fractures. Moreover, it dramatically impacts the proper function of the musculoskeletal, immune, nervous, and cardiovascular systems. It can also prevent autoimmune diseases such as type 1 diabetes mellitus, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis. Vitamin B1, medically known as thiamine, enhances carbohydrate metabolism and improves nerve function, which is compromised in 99% of people with type 2 diabetes. According to a study published in the Cure Us Journal for Medical Studies, high-dose thiamine therapy has a therapeutic effect on early-stage diabetic nephropathy. Imagine this, eliminating the risk of end-stage renal disease or kidney failure forever. In the long run, your HbA1c, triglyceride, and total cholesterol levels significantly improve, but the effects of the formula are fully complete once we add chromium. This essential mineral plays a pivotal role in maintaining healthy blood sugar levels by improving the way insulin functions in your body. It regulates insulin action and helps carbohydrate, protein, and lipid metabolism. By contributing to the repair of the KATP channels, it enhances insulin activity, leaving your body detoxified and full of vitality. Besides this, it lowers the risk factors for cardiovascular disease, particularly if you're overweight. These ingredients act as a protective shield, keeping your blood sugar levels stable and your pancreas healthy. Finally, there's one more nutrient that speeds up the healing of any wounds, as it did to mine, eliminating any risk of amputation. I'm talking about the Gymnema sylvestris leaf, one of the strongest anti-diabetics out there. Due to its anti-obesity properties, it will also help you shed pounds in no time. It kickstarts your fat-burning furnace even when you're resting comfortably on your couch, allowing you to burn more calories. With this perfect synergy of nutrients, your body won't just heal, it will thrive. And most importantly, you'll enjoy freedom from diabetes for good, while every single cell in your body will start to rejuvenate and repair itself. Yes, it's true. We discovered the holy grail of diabetes and put it in your hands. No other available solution comes close to this level of effectiveness. In just days, your blood sugar will stabilize, your energy will soar, and you'll finally be free from the burdens of diabetes. That's the power of Insufend, the only natural solution designed to keep diabetes out of your life for good. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how you can get your hands on the solution that changed my life and the lives of over 118,000 people, and in which quantities you should take. Well, regarding the first question, I'll be blunt. Ever since we decided to go public with our formula, our stocks have been depleting at an alarming rate. That's because tens of thousands of men and women with various stages of diabetes who have already tried this method successfully are now asking us for more bottles. This makes our stocks run out in a matter of days every time we get a new shipment. And since we use only the highest quality ingredients sourced from all over the globe, it's almost impossible to consistently have a bigger batch available. Not only that, but by producing Insufend in small batches, we're making sure the quality of our formula is 100% effective. But since you stayed with me up until now, this shows you're committed to changing your life for good. That's why your package is reserved, at least for now. However, I cannot guarantee that this will be the case if you leave this page. We've made a lot of enemies by posting this online, so this link may not even still be up when you decide to give Insufend a chance. Because you know the greedy, corrupt Big Pharma is fiercely doing everything in their power to take us down for ruining their profits. Since their entire multi-billion business relies on scamming innocent folks and forcing them to be stuck on their useless medication instead of offering them a cure. And yet, despite all these challenges, our commitment to getting Insufend into the hands of those who need it most will not waver. Because when something works this well, when it improves the lives the way it has for over 118,000 men and women, it's impossible to ignore its impact. People from all over the world at different stages of their diabetes journey have experienced firsthand the power of this formula. Many have sent their heartfelt stories sharing how Insufend helped them regain control over their blood sugar, reclaim their energy, and feel like themselves again. Here's what just a few of them had to say. Janet F., 42, of California, who shared with us,
For years, I shuffled through a variety of diabetes drugs, each promising much but delivering little. I had to come back to metformin over and over and endure the side effects that weighed me down while my blood sugar levels barely improved. This formula was my last shot, and I'm so happy I tried it. It changed everything. My numbers are actually stable for the first time in years, and I feel like I'm healing, not just managing.
Or for Tom G., 51, of Michigan.
So let me tell you, every new prescription was another round of hope followed by disappointment. I felt just stuck on a medical merry-go-round until I stumbled across this method. I mean, this felt very different from the very first days. I mean, within weeks, not only did my health improve, but my outlook on life improved also. I've never felt more in control, and I've never felt happier.
Tens of thousands of people who were lied to their face that traditional diabetes treatments work found this formula to be the only beacon of hope. They are now free from diabetes and are enjoying the new lease on life that has been given to them. This is the undeniable proof that this solution really works, and if it worked for them, it's a guarantee it'll work for you too. By choosing Insufend, not only will you reverse this debilitating condition, but you'll also ensure considerable savings on healthcare costs in the long run, all while making sure that you'll live a happy life. As for how much Insufend you should take, we recommend that you take 1 capsule each night before going to bed every day for at least 30 days. Make it your nightly ritual, as Louise recommended, and you'll see amazing benefits every single morning. But please don't leave your health on chance, and this is something I absolutely have to tell you. You see, based on the data from the over 118,000 honest folks who have used this amazing formula, we acknowledged that some of them required a little more than a few weeks of the formula to fully experience its benefits. And this is due to the extent of metabolic dysfunction and cellular damage caused by prolonged exposure to elevated blood sugar levels. That's why we advise you to get 6 bottles to be fully covered over a period of 180 days in order to ensure the full restoration of healthy beta cell function and address the impact of toxin accumulation on cellular membranes. This allows for sustained bioavailability of the active compounds, giving the body sufficient time to repair and optimize insulin regulation, which should be enough to completely eliminate the toxins clogging your beta cells while reversing diabetes and shielding your body from any risk of end-stage renal disease, kidney failure, or heart attack for the rest of your days. And what's extraordinary about Insufend is that its ingredients work their magic synergistically while you sleep. In just a few days, you'll completely eliminate any risk of pancreas destruction, your organism will be detoxified and protected, and your entire body will get supercharged and renewed. This is a long-term solution through which you won't need to be afraid of taking on new challenges because your hypoglycemia might put you down or because your piled-up blood sugar will make your organs stop functioning. Instead, Insufend will provide you with the necessary energy, strength, and blood sugar balance to regain your zeal for life and live your dreams, restoring your pancreatic cells to their prime function, just as they were always intended to have, bulletproofing your body against foreign toxins that may cause sugar spikes, and giving you complete control over your physical and mental well-being and health. Now, ask yourself, how much is it worth it for you to never again have to deal with diabetes again? To wake up a few days from now and feel as though there's no weight that you need to carry, no burden on your shoulders, and no awful drugs or injections to take, and to not have to worry about all the life-threatening side effects of this disease. How much would you pay for the real solution to escape your diabetes nightmare? What's the price you'll put on your health? Is it $5,000, $10,000, $50,000? I, for one, know my answer. I would pay everything I've got just to get rid of this burden. And to be frank, any sane person would do this. No cost is ever too high when it comes to your health, right? So you can understand why we initially thought that $350 seemed more than a fair exchange for this amazing formula, considering that you're receiving not only your physical health, but also your mental sanity back. It's considerably less than what you would spend on most of the so-called solutions out there designed to work halfway or that make you feel worse because they have zero effects. And it's definitely way less than the life-threatening solutions pushed by the greedy, corrupt Big Pharma. But that's the difference between Insufend and all these other methods. Insufend restores your pancreas's ability to release insulin and helps you escape the diabetes nightmare for good. And then there's the other thing. This formula only works if the quality and quantity criteria are followed to the letter, and this process takes a considerable amount of time. Each ingredient was carefully tested through 4 separate processes by 2 independent testing labs and was clinically proven to 100% help you escape this debilitating nightmare and free yourself from the shackles of diabetes. When given all this, $350 a bottle seems like an incredible offer. But, to be honest, I've been in your shoes and I've learned a hard lesson. Without your health and well-being, everything else fades away. That's why we wanted to make this formula affordable for every person suffering from this debilitating condition, while also being able to cover the costs of the rare, pure ingredients and keep this site running for as long as possible. So we decided we're not going to ask you for $350, not even $150. For the solution that has helped over 118,000 honest folks just like you break free from Big Pharma's greedy hands. In fact, today, only on this website, you can take full control over your health and liberate yourself from diabetes with Insufend for just $69. Yes, you heard that right. And to be frank, it's a steal considering the unique range of benefits that this amazing anti-diabetes weapon will yield. You'll completely eliminate the risk of losing your precious vision, of dying from a heart attack or a stroke, or even the risk of having a limb amputated. And you'll wake up every morning and be shocked by the confidence that you now project because you know you have total control over your blood sugar. Even though we cannot change the past, no matter how much we'd like to, what we can totally do is change the future of all diabetes sufferers out there. But wait, there's more. I have a surprise just for you, for a limited time only. Because I know how it feels to live in constant fear, to be desperate and powerless facing this terrible disease. And after talking to our team and our suppliers, we agreed to offer a massive discount on the 3 and 6 bottle packages, plus free shipping with your order today for as long as supplies last. And there's a reason for this. It's because 3 bottles of Insufend will lend your body enough time to eliminate the toxins, open the insulin channels, and normalize your blood sugar. And there's a reason why most of our users choose the 6-bottle package, because the fact that this is by far the best offer. 6 bottles of Insufend could completely shield yourself against diabetes and make your body immune to this disease for the rest of your days, while removing any trace of it from your body. We've seen so many lives transformed, so many innocent folks given a second chance, and soon you'll experience all of this for yourself. So please take this seriously. If you don't take control of your health right now, you'll always be left wondering if the next blood test will be your last. God forbid. If diabetes will rob you of your vision, your mobility, or even your independence. But you don't have to let that be your fate. It's time to break free from the shackles of diabetes. Take action now and select the 6 or 3-bottle package to claim your Insufend supply and make sure you wake up every morning full of energy with stable blood sugar, a sharp mind, and a body that functions at its best. It's up to you after all, but why miss this incredible opportunity when it's just one step away? This is the ultimate formula that is guaranteed to change your life forever. If you choose to reclaim your health, restore your metabolic balance, and safeguard yourself from diabetes' worst effects, then look below. Once you click the Add to Cart button below, you'll be taken to our secure checkout page where you can fill in your shipping details. Think of it this way. You gain stable blood sugar levels for the rest of your days, renewed energy, and a healthy, resilient body with Insufend, allowing you to enjoy life to the fullest, free from the fear of diabetes. So take action now and select the 6-bottle package or whichever option best suits your needs. It takes less than a minute to enter your payment information. And once your order is confirmed, we'll ship Insufend straight to your doorstep. It takes less than 7 days from now to get your hands on this incredible formula. That's a promise. So go ahead and select below now while stocks last. Now, if you're skeptical, I totally understand. You've tried every method under the sun with 0 results. But right now, you hold in your hands the power to change all that. And if you're not committed to making this crucial change today, you're missing out on a life free from the burdens of diabetes. That's why I don't want anyone to worry that they won't reclaim their health and break themselves free from this disease. In fact, you can now get your hands on this revolutionary formula completely risk-free as part of our unique program. You see, Louise and I are so confident in this life-changing solution that with every bottle of Insufend, you receive an ironclad 60-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. You select one of the packages below and hit the buy button. Give Insufend a try. And if for any reason whatsoever you're not satisfied with the results, even though this has never happened, simply send us an email and we'll refund every penny you invested into this program. No hassle, no questions asked, no red tape. And just to be crystal clear, this isn't one of those subscription deals or an ongoing charge. There are no hidden fees. It's a straightforward one-off payment and a bulletproof 60-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. You have 2 full months to decide if Insufend is the right thing for you. But please hurry. The increased demand for Insufend makes our stock running out fast. On top of that, powerful corporate interests don't want this breakthrough to reach the public. Pharmaceutical giants rely on diabetes treatments that keep you dependent on their expensive drugs because a real natural solution is a direct threat to their billion-dollar profits. This is actually the 5th time I've had to re-upload this video. Now, while you're still here, do not hesitate. Next time you come back, this opportunity may be gone forever, and you might never get another chance to break free from diabetes once and for all. And I'm really sorry to say this, but I'm afraid you'll be on your own. So, hit the button below right now and don't risk losing your only shot at restoring your body's natural ability to regulate blood sugar, your only chance to get back your independence and finally eradicate diabetes from your life for good. Now is the time to cross a line between your past and your future self, between the version of you struggling with diabetes, living in constant fear that your heart or kidneys will fail at any moment, and the one who finally takes control of their health. But please, think carefully. This is a decision that will shape the rest of your life. You can close this tab and go back to spending thousands of dollars on useless medications, insulin injections, restrictive diets, and other so-called treatments pushed by big pharma that do nothing but keep you dependent, trapping you in an endless cycle of side effects, skyrocketing costs, and deteriorating health. They didn't work the first time, and they won't work now. So why condemn yourself to a life of injections, of useless pills that makes you go through unbearable headaches, that give you kidney, liver, or heart failure? Is this really the life you choose when you have the quickest, natural, 100% risk-free way to eliminate diabetes from your life for good, just a click away? Or you could choose the second path, the only one that could truly help you regain control over your health and keep diabetes out of your life for good. So take this small step toward a bigger, brighter, and healthier future, one where you wake up feeling strong, clear-headed, and fully in charge of your body. Today, God has given you the chance to make a new choice. So choose to live your life the way He intended. Choose happiness. Choose Insufend. Choose to reclaim your health, your energy, and your future. Because that's what I did, and I can't wait for you to create your own success story today. Simply click the Buy Now button below and take the first step toward a life free from diabetes, just like you always deserved. Thank you for your attention. This was Matthew Brown. May I see you in good health. If you're still watching this, that means you might have some questions, and I'm happy to answer them. How is Insufend different from other diabetes drugs? What makes Insufend stand out is its unique blend of 100% naturally harvested ingredients that don't just temporarily stabilize your blood sugars, but instead address the root cause of the dysfunction of your pancreatic cells and repair the membrane that releases insulin in your bloodstream. It's designed to push away the wide range of complications triggered by lasting hyperglycemia levels such as nerve degeneration, kidney failure, eye damage, cardiovascular diseases, foot damage, skin and mouth bacterial or fungal infections, osteoporosis, and hearing impairment. Being rigorously tested for purity and safety, it's free from harmful additives, allergens, and toxins, making it suitable for anyone, including those with dietary restrictions. How soon can I notice a change? The moment you begin introducing Insufend into your routine, the detoxification begins and the membrane of your beta cells starts to repair. During the first week, your body continues to silently absorb essential nutrients while regenerating affected tissues. By the second week, the marks of the inside transformation start to be visible on the outside, allowing you to enjoy more stable moods, clarity, focus, weight loss, higher mobility, better breathing, and strength. What if Insufend is not working well for me? Because we want you to feel completely confident in your investment today, we provide a full 60-day money-back guarantee. Simply click one of the buttons below to try the program out for yourself for the next 60 days. If you don't get the promised results, or if you're unsatisfied for any reason whatsoever, simply send us an email and you'll get a full refund, no questions asked, no hassle, no red tape. How long will Insufend be available? Since it's difficult to harvest the purest ingredients at the peak of their potency, we're producing only a tiny amount, and we're not sure how soon we'll be able to have another batch ready. It could take us weeks, even months. So, if you want to secure yours, order it by clicking the button below. For how long should I take Insufend? We're confident that we'll be hearing your success story soon. The effects can already be seen within the first few weeks. Still, for the best results, we suggest that you follow the routine with the 6-bottle package. It's the best deal and gives you the full detox experience while resetting your beta cells to adapt the insulin release and maintain stable blood sugars for the long run. How long will this program be available to the public? We cannot predict how long we can keep this page online. In other words, if you are truly committed to returning to your optimal health before diabetes, you need to take action immediately. For optimal benefits, we recommend the 6-bottle package for the best value and complete metabolic restoration and blood sugar support. Secure your order today and begin your journey to reclaiming your energy, stabilizing your blood sugar, and freeing yourself from diabetes for good. Ultimately, the decision is yours, but I trust you'll make the right choice by clicking the buy button below, ensuring you achieve the healthy, vibrant life you've always deserved.